What if I tell you that Demon Slayer is secretly a romance anime? Despite so many intense battles, Demon Slayer has been secretly webbing a net of love involving almost everyone. Yes, even our beloved MJ. Only the keen-eyed amongst you might have noticed the secret seeds of Pink Gotoge Sensei has been spreading throughout the series. Even our boar-headed Tarzan got some invitations of love. Aw, aren't they a bunch of cuties? I knew you had it in you, Inosuke. After all, even in the heart of the wildest beast, love finds a way to sprout and flourish. I mean, let's be honest, we've also seen Hashiras level up their Rizz game according to situations. Well, maybe not all of them, but considering their strength, I'm sure they've at least gotten some love letters in their careers, right? Anyway, let's start with Gyokko. Wait, what? Gyokko is the perfect example of self-love, albeit his version of it is a little bit twisted. From hyper-manipulating his body to look like a creepier version of My Little Mermaid to creating grotesque-looking pot arts, Gyokko stops at nothing in pursuit of bringing his creativity to reality. Sure, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for Gyokko, it's the ultimate kind of art that he, as the perfect life form, has created. Talk about living in a bubble. Speaking of unhealthy relationships, let's dive into our moonwalking villain's love affair with immortality. Muzan Kibutsuji, the original demon, has a burning passion for eternal life that puts every Twilight vampire to shame. His love for immortality is so intense he's willing to turn the whole of humanity into his personal demon army just to achieve it. Paging for demons! And in an ironic twist of fate, it's this obsessive love that puts him on a collision course with our heroes. Every action Muzan takes is driven by this unyielding love for his own existence, and every counteraction our heroes take is driven by their love for humanity. So, you see, even the most epic battles in Demon Slayer are really just a clash of loves. Once a human named Hakuji, Akaza fell for Koyuki, his dojo master's daughter. Their love was so profound that Hakuji would do everything in his power to protect Koyuki. Alas, fate wasn't very kind to them, and after Koyuki's untimely death, a devastated Hakuji got turned into a demon by Muzan. Akaza, with no memories of his human life, still to this day refuses to harm women. Koyuki's hairpin, an obvious influence on Akaza as his blood demon art has the same patterns. Most of his attacks are named after fireworks, echoing their shared promise to watch the fireworks together. Aww. We all know Tanjiro's got the biggest heart, which seems to grow even more with each episode. The amount of love he shows, even to the worst demons, makes me feel guilty for swatting that mosquito last night. Tanjiro might seem like an ordinary guy at first, but with all that Rizz training he's received from Urokodaki and Tengen Uzui, Tanjiro's mere words are enough to melt diamonds and break rocks. And he's a growing boy too. After all, he did find a ghost to be cute. Remember Makomo? And his compassionate spirit isn't just the product of his training, though. It's his innate ability to empathize and love, even in the face of profound darkness. That makes Tanjiro an extraordinary character. One hopeless victim of this Rizz-breathing style is Kanao, who went from flipping coins to flipping hearts. That's her looking way too imposing. But hey, I don't believe there's a better candidate for Tanjiro than Kanao. And remember, love isn't just about the heart-throbbing, blush-inducing moments. It's also about understanding, acceptance, and the ability to inspire change in others, just as Tanjiro has done for Kanao. And, of course, we have Zenitsu, a character so in love with the concept of loving that he falls head over heels for every woman he meets. Now, naturally, with love comes jealousy, and while Zenitsu's definition of love might be a bit off, you can't put the blame on his consistency. The dude seems to have trained thousands of years to become the perfect man, but picked up the wrong manual to train. His quirky interpretation of love brings a lighter comedic touch to the series, balancing out the more dramatic and heart-wrenching elements. Aside from our main trio, it seems that the Hashiras have gotten a hint of this love as well. We already know about Tengen and his 3 wives. It was clear how much he pissed Zenitsu off, but it seems there are the quiet ones as well. And no, it's not Gyu, unfortunately. Bonding over a pair of socks, Obanai and Mitsuri are truly fated for one another. Obanai seems to be tough and sly on the outside, but that strong shell hides a soft and caring, yet shy gentleman that would do anything for a significant other. And that just happens to be the literal pillar of love. Talk about being poetic. On the right, we have a snake-like assassin, and on the left, we have a cheerful lady with a whip. You already know how the first date's gonna go. Let's just hope they're not having poisoned potatoes, though. Then we have the story of Genya and Sanemi, the Shinazugawa brothers. Talk about a dysfunctional family. But underneath all the bickering and battle scars, there lies a deep-rooted love. Genya's desire to earn his brother's approval speaks volumes about the affection he harbors, even though Sanemi is about as cuddly as a cactus. The division between them stemmed from a shared trauma, their mother's death by a demon. Sanemi coped through anger, swearing to exterminate all demons, while Genya sought redemption after wrongly accusing his blood brother. Misunderstandings and their divergent ways of handling grief drove a wedge between them. Sanemi's guilt and his self-imposed distance, mistaken as rejection by Genya, further strained their bond. Thus, their mutual tragedy became the ghost that haunted their relationship. They serve as a sobering reality of how love can become twisted and torn in a world ravaged by demons. And of course, who can forget the tragic tale of sibling love between Daki and Gyutaro? Remember the part after they faded and Gyutaro tried to push his sister away and wanted her to go to heaven instead of following him? On the surface, they were quarrelsome, but deep down they cared a lot for each other. In the end, Daki still chose to follow her brother to the depths of hell, and naturally the responsible brother will always take care of his annoying and needy little sister wherever they go. Who do you think has the stronger sibling bond, Gyutaro or Tanjiro? Born into the same family, their fates diverged dramatically due to a series of tragic events. Yoriichi, blessed with a unique birthmark and a natural aptitude for sun-breathing, became a legendary demon slayer. His strength and skill were unparalleled, and his legacy lived on through the various breathing styles derived from his original technique. Michikatsu, on the other hand, was consumed by jealousy and resentment towards his twin as he felt overshadowed by Yoriichi's talents. In his pursuit of power and immortality, he succumbed to Muzan's temptations and transformed into the demon Kokushibo. His blood demon art, moon-breathing, was a twisted reflection of his brother's sun-breathing, symbolizing his constant struggle to surpass Yoriichi. But we all know that the moon is only a reflection of the sun, ironically hinting that he was always going to be second best to Yoriichi. Despite their divergent paths and the animosity between them, their bond as brothers was symbolized by the flute they shared in their childhood. When still a human, Michikatsu gave the flute to Yoriichi as a gift, which was treasured until his death. This flute served as a constant reminder of their brotherly bond, even as they stood on opposite sides of the battlefield. They say mothers know best, and Kotoha Hashibura definitely did the right thing. If not, we wouldn't have Inosuke in the cast. Her story is a heartbreaking tale of motherly love. About to meet her end at the hands of Doma, she ran as fast as she could to save Inosuke, her only child and her symbol of love. Throwing him off the river down a cliff in an attempt to save his life, Kotoha was then killed and absorbed by Doma. We haven't even touched on the strangest couple in the entire series. It's none other than Inosuke and Aoi. Our boar-headed king of the mountain, Inosuke, who values brute strength above all else, seems to be an unlikely match for anyone, let alone sweet duty-bound Aoi. But as we know, in the world of Demon Slayers, stranger things have happened. And no, I'm not talking about the time Sabito and Makomo literally rose from the dead to train Tanjiro. Who would have thought that a chance encounter during the rehabilitation training would create such an interesting dynamic between these two? The classic hookup of the patient and the nurse. Inosuke, with his wild and aggressive nature, surprisingly brings out the best in Aoi, pushing her to assert herself more. This budding love story sprouted from a charming misunderstanding. Inosuke, being a wild spirit, was caught stealing food. Instead of some serious scolding, Aoi gently reprimanded him and presented him with his own tray to curb his food theft. This stirred a tingle of gratitude in Inosuke, who as a result appreciated Aoi's caring gesture. Wink wink. Clearly, this was where the grandma lost to Aoi. Sorry, Oba-chan. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching!